Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat running for governor in Virginia, was absolutely destroyed during the debate by the Republican Winsome Earl Sears because she was not able to answer very specific questions with a direct answer. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Virginia governor debate between the Democrat Abigail Spanberger and the Republican Winsome Earl Sears. Now, y'all know me. I'm a conservative guy. I'm from Virginia, so I say go Winsome Earl Sears. I hope you win. I hope you succeed because Abigail Spanberger cannot be in there. She cannot be in there, nor can her colleagues, nor can her running mates, nor can those who are running on the same ticket as her. Now, before we get into the debate, let's get into someone who is on the same ticket. Okay. You see this guy right here, Jay Jones. Look at this New York Times article. Text from Democratic Attorney General candidate, Royal Virginia governor's race. In the messages, the Democratic candidate for Attorney General, Jay Jones, discusses hypothetical taking of lives, deletion, I can't say the K word, I guess, on YouTube, of a Republican lawmaker. Okay. So let's get into a news clip in which they go a little bit deeper into this. Okay. This is the Washington Examiner. I will link to this and everything else in the description. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
The unstable pull the triggers, but they are inspired by the hate tolerated and encouraged by the leadership of the Democrat Party.
Jay Jones, who's running for Attorney General in Virginia, is being called to drop out of the race by a slew of Republican officials. Leaked text messages from 2022 show the Democrat calling for violence against former Republican Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family. The text messages reveal Jones said he would rather shoot Gilbert over dictators Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot. Jones went on to say he believes Gilbert and his wife are, quote, breeding little fascists, and hoping his children would die. His Republican opponent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, slammed Jones in an open letter to all Virginians. Jay Jones wished for the violent death of a political opponent and then fantasized about that opponent's children dying. This conduct is disqualifying.
So you get the general idea of what's going on here, okay? You have someone who may have some violent tendencies running for the Attorney General of Virginia. And by the way, that dude, Jay Jones, is from Norfolk. That's my neck of the woods. I recognize him. I don't know exactly from where, but I have seen him before. And I'm going to do some digging to figure out what's really going on beyond what we see right here on the TV screen. But let's keep on going. There was a question about that because, hey, he's on your ticket. So are you going to denounce the things that he said, Miss Abigail Spanberger, or is it okay? Of course, Abigail Spanberger on the left and the Republican Winsome Earl Sears is right there on the right. Let's check this out.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
Okay, now, are we going to answer the question directly, or are we going to do the political dancing around it, not really get into the real meat and potatoes?
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about
I learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
She denounces murder.
And importantly, at this point, as we move forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them.
You're running to
presumably for
Ms.
political reasons. But the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based.
So now you're passing the buck to the voters. But see, he's on your ticket, though. So do you denounce him? That's the question. Because if somebody's on my ticket and they're saying stuff like that, I have to denounce that person, not just the text, not just the things that were said. I have to denounce them.
Based on this information.
Ms. Spanberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earl Sayers.
And it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
The question did not get answered. She passing the buck, talking about, well, let the voters decide. Nah, we're asking you specifically, Ms. Spanberger, do you denounce him? You denounce what the text message just said, but do you denounce Jay Jones is the question, and you refuse to answer.
Want to clarify, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the policies I put out and the work I will endeavor to do tirelessly for the people of Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
That was pretty rough. That was rough. So shout out Winsome Earl Sears on that one. She was able to really, kind of put it in perspective here. Let's keep on going.
Should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12? You have 15 seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to make decisions locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earl Sears?
There should never be nude men
Oh,
in
my
locker
goodness,
rooms.
we finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earl
Have
Sears.
you finally
My
Ms.
said
Earl
that
Sears, you are
now?
just intruding on
Are
time
we in
here.
agreement now? Are you
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears,
tell?
This is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
See, now you can't just say, let the people decide, because this is a policy that comes from the governor, Glenn Youngkin, right now. If you became the governor, Ms. Spanberger, you would have the ability to uphold that or to rescind that. So what are you going to do?
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers and educators, are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
See, you're passing the buck, but you have responsibilities. Look, if you just want to let everybody do what they want to do, then what's your role? Like, what is your role as governor? At a certain point, you have things that you can do from your office, but you're saying, I'm going to just let everybody try to figure it out on their own. It can't always be like that.
And that is important. And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But Ms. Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
And before she answers or doesn't answer, shout out to Tom Shad right here. Like, I've been watching him my whole life on Webby TV 10 out there in Virginia. But let's keep on going.
Yes,
and my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be dictated by politicians.
So that's not answering the question, because there's a policy from the governor. So if what you want to do is allow everybody to make their own decision, then you would rescind that policy. So why would you rescind it? You want to rescind it because you want to allow at a certain point boys to be in girls' locker rooms if the community, quote unquote, decides it's okay. That's totally crazy to me. That's totally crazy. And Winsome Earl Sears was correct to call her out on that. Now, some are going to say, well, she shouldn't have been interrupting her time or whatever, but nah, she's right to call her out on that. As I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Winsome Earl Sears. Hopefully she becomes the next governor of Virginia. It can't be Abigail Spanberger or anybody on the left. And Jay Jones running for Attorney General as a Democrat cannot be the Attorney General with that particular violent streak he exhibited in those text messages. Look, I've said quite a few things privately, but I never said anything like that privately because it's not part of my character. You're never going to see no text come out where I'm talking about taking somebody's life. I would never. That's not in me. But maybe, just maybe, it's in Jay Jones. And Abigail Spanberger doesn't really want to come out and say whether she thinks that's the case or not. Passing the buck, political answers, dodging the answer. I don't like that. And I don't think most people, especially in the Commonwealth of Virginia, like it either. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about the Virginia governor's race? Who do you have? The Democrat Abigail Spanberger, who can't answer a question to save her life, or the Republican Winsome Earl Sears? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. You guys know where you guys know who I'm going to vote for. If I was in Virginia still and I could vote for the governor, etc., it will most certainly be Winsome Earl Sears. Anybody on the left at this point is particularly toxic, especially since there's a really close proximity to Virginia in the DMV area, the DC metro area. A lot of the DC politics, that's like the belly of the beast of the political uniparty. You don't want anything to do with that in local politics. And in my opinion, that's what Abigail Spanberger represents. She represents the swamp infiltrating Virginia. Jay Jones as well. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.